Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are finding yourself. This is Namibian News. I'm Aisha and this is...
My name is Beatrice. We are back to be back.
with another one. So we bring you news, right? But we bring in news with our own opinions on it. And these 2 weeks have been newsworthy.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff has been happening in our nation, has been happening in the world, and we just want to dive. So if you like news but you don't have time to read the newspaper, so this is the best channel that you can find yourself. So I want to encourage everybody. So please do subscribe because we are still on the road to 500 subscribers. So we're at 420 and we just want to give out our deep appreciation for everybody that have subscribed. So you are the best. So we're going to be going into a number of stories and we're going to review those stories. So just to give you a much more deeper understanding, also for you to think, you can do your own researches. There might be glitches here and there of maybe the place, the date, all that stuff, but we'll put up everything on the screen. So let's dive into the stories.
Yeah, we're going to start with one that has been going on for, like, I think we covered it in one of the last ones that we had, was the police recruitment process, which we said that people were flocking the last day.
Yeah.
But now, there are 43,000 applications for 1,000 police posts.
And it's crazy. Okay, you finish. I really wanted to start with the reviews.
No, just imagine it's gonna be like 42,000 people are initially just gonna fall out because we just need 1,000 people.
Yeah.
We just need 1,000 police officers.
Yeah.
And one of the things that is currently, upsetting a lot of people, especially in the southern part of the country, is that many people actually believe that I'm just going to use the words.
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like it's a lot of Oshiwambo people that were accepted in the Karas as well as the Hardap region, and people, especially the political parties, are now fighting. And for one, we can say that LPM and Songwa agree on something. When the former Hardap region governor Hansi Marwa also, had a couple of things to say. She said that she's really concerned, not only because of the number of people that applied, but because of the number of people that have, I'm just going to use, you can go read, Oshiwamba surnames were more than people that have native surnames.
Yeah.
So this is now the back and forth that people are having about the police recruitments. If you are in Keetmanshoop or have been in Keetmans today, you will see, you would have seen that the people were actually protesting against the application process and the recruitment process as well.
Because what is funny for me is that, like, here in the south, they have the ones that got shortlisted, they are 183, but they only need 53.
Yeah.
So and the guys, I was actually with a guy that came from Lutres, so he's part of the guys that got shortlisted and stuff. The guy was telling me, hey, people were busy fainting and stuff like that. So you can literally, the guy, I think they went like from the airport, they went like 2.5 kilos out, then 2.5 back, then they walked like 3 kilos out, and then from there is a push-up. The guy can say he can literally smell blood, but then he just had to continue on. So now the thing is that, and now this is where the whole thing is, okay? So you have like over 40, you have like over 100 and something people, almost close to 200 people within the region itself, and you only need 53. And I like for me, it's like, it's just better you take 100, than omit everybody out. Come down to say, So, but to me, the other thing as well, the demonstration and stuff like that is legit. That's why if people could just do it, if they could just make the process okay from the beginning, then it's okay. Come down to say. But now the other issue is, and that's what's very much, that's where the controversial part is, because now you find many people who are in the south, some of them that might be part of the shortlisting, they were born here, but their parents are not like from the region.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And that begins to bring that contention to say now, even if you have to say you okay, like I don't know now, their grounds of protesting is like it's unfair. So basically what they want is that there need to be another shortlisting.
But my thing also on that is that there are requirements regardless of tribe or whatever.
Yeah.
I know for a lot of people, obviously there is a tribal sort of like an influence on it,
Yeah.
if you look at it. But now let's look at even with the number of young people that showed up for the protest. It wasn't a lot of people.
Yeah.
So now we need to look at the process of recruitment.
Yeah.
For example, the other thing also for me, which is weird of this police training and this NCS and all these things, is that okay, fine, the person literally is within the requirements. Let's say you get the 25 points that are being asked, you are the certain age, the certain weight, or whatever.
Yeah.
But now let's go to the process itself. The first thing that you do is physical activities.
Yeah.
Now imagine you fall out at the physical part, and now you have people who have passed the physical part, but at the end of the day, these people are unfortunately better communication and all of the other things that are required for you to be a police officer.
Yeah.
So I think the process in itself is it needs sort of like a balance. So now you say you want me to run 2.5 kilometers.
Yeah.
I lose there and I'm automatically out.
Yeah.
But now you take somebody who can run it, but you have somebody who is illiterate when it comes to writing and all of this stuff. So the whole process for me is just, it's icky.
Yeah, so it's a problem. I think it's things that have been, the people that have been doing it ever since independence, but they haven't put really effort and thought to it in terms of how it needs to be done. But now what is very funny is that the demonstration is done today. These people have already they wrote a test yesterday, they did the physical training today, so they're just waiting tonight to be called. So even apparently the chiefs and all type of stuff, they were telling the guys, well, these people are busy pushing for, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
You know, so it's not gonna happen. So now it's like, and the thing is that now at this stage, at least if they were supposed to be part of the shortlisting process, they're supposed to be from the beginning. Because now, if you have to remove people already now who are already shortlisted, then it creates even more chaos. Because now, like, I've already traveled, I've been here, all type of stuff. And I think what brought another chaos was, I don't know if you guys saw this screenshot that was being circulating of this guy, Thomas Shangula. He's this funny comedian guy that just posts crazy stuff. He's saying he's looking for somebody accommodation and that outraged a lot of people. Sort of like, I don't know now. I went on the guy's Facebook page to go look for the actual post.
It wasn't there.
But it wasn't there. Then I was thinking, could it maybe be the past recruitment, or is it or maybe the guy posted then he deleted, you know, because it's so crazy, man, the way that the whole thing is. But then now I think. Either, you know, so if they will be adamant to say they're not going to take the whole thing, the thing might go to court, and it might put a lot of stuff at weight to be able to say, because now you can't recruit, or people are going to be recruited, but if you still go to court, then what do you do with these ones that are recruited?
Yeah, I saw a lot of people, I call them activists, the opportunist activists, who were literally sharing that thing and posting about how upset they are. But at the end of the day, people do not even go to the guy's page that posted the whole thing and check whether it was a joke or it was an authentic thing. So everybody was just like, oh, now look at this brother or whoever it is. They don't even have accommodation. They do not even have accommodation, yet they are accepted as a recruit in the Karas region and all these things. And it's like, I understand the outrage. I genuinely do understand it. But we also need to start looking at things from outside of us. You need to look at the recruitment process. You need to look at everything. And at the end of the day, in all of these 14 regions, they are only going to take 1,000 people. It's not going to stop the unemployment now.
And I think there's the unemployment also that is agitating people, because everybody now is desperate for a job, and they want to get themselves into the whole system as quick as they can, because I think government job is like security, is like it's a lifelong thing.
With a pension,
and once you're in it, then it's. But I think they need to sit down. Let me say, because now you can push it and when you go to court, then later on the implications and the complication even begins to become too much. Because the person gonna think, okay, no, to me I've been working, so I need my payout. Come down and say, oh, I've been going on training, I need a payout. Or you've wasted my time to train so long and now you get to remove me, you know? And also the other thing to say, because they can be demonstrated, the guy I was speaking to is telling me, the guy's from Ludrats, but the parents have been here maybe for more than 30 years and stuff like that. So his surnames, it doesn't originate with surnames that are of the south, but the guy grew up here, was raised here, the parents are here.
And all you know is here is home.
You know what I'm trying to say? So then now, if people are only checking at the surnames, but you're not digging deeper to say, was the person born here? Because I also think, the other thing that other people are missing is that, in order for you to qualify to be a resident of any town or any region, I think it has to be in the proximity of 5 years. To be able to say, if you've stayed in a place for much more than 5 years, then that qualifies you to be a native of that place. You know what I'm saying? Now, if I feel that they've been here maybe 7 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years and stuff like that. But for me, I legitimately feel like main priority for people that are of the region, but then they will have went deeper to say, okay, this guy that we've recruited, it was on this and this basis. So the guy is stating, maybe to say, okay, provide your election card for us to be able to realize, okay, from which constituency and stuff are you, so that they also don't get to get the blame, and also the same part, they don't get to advantage people that's supposed to be advantaged somewhere else, and they leave out people that are from here. But it's a much more frustrating thing that they need to find out ways to be able to do it. And you know what's funny about it? Eh? This guy raised the issue. No, the guy that was promised a job by the pastor, the one who gave him, the guy was never shortlisted.
I saw that thing.
Yeah, because the thing is that if the guy was shortlisted, that also could have been a problem. To be able to say, okay, this guy was promised a job, now he has a job. Now it means that the pastor has an influence into the police system. So even if they wanted to get the guy in, the whole thing is messed up because you can't get the guy in. Then again, you have backlashes. So I think the guy must just find another way to get the other outstanding 4,000 or 6,000, and his hopes are ruined to be in the police now for the next how many years, and maybe he must go to the NDF if they need recruitment. But it's crazy, you know. So both of them are gays and all that of stuff, and it's funny. So I don't know if the guy is still suicidal, you know, the pastor and stuff like that. But
on the other news. One of our favorite people to talk about is Bennett Earslow. Love the guy. The guy is talking now. I told you to let the guy will talk, and the guy is now talking. He said that Saki Shangala is the one who was using his name for the contest. And
so I was checking. I wasn't really. I was just skipping through the court proceedings on the bail application. So I didn't think the guy named.
He named.
Oh.
Is that he was not the one. And the statement he said was really incredible. He's like, how can I be part of a scheme and yet I'm still broke?
Yeah,
I'm still poor. He didn't say broke, he said I'm still poor.
But then now if he has named out Saki, then Saki is forced to name out other people. Mm-hmm. So it's either Saki takes the blame or the whole thing is gonna collapse.
The guy is 65 years old. I think he has had enough now.
Yeah, to be because I mean, it has been since 2019. Now it's 2023.
It's been a couple of years.
And the next election, I think there's almost like 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's also. And now I think if they could have pushed to a place whereby, because I think everything is just politics, right? Because if they could have pushed to say, the guys can get bail and be outside, so at least that can as long as the case is still dragging and they have freedom, they are on outside, they can do whatever, it's much more better. But then now the case is dragging and you are inside, your family needs you on the outside, you are so frustrated to be confined. So it's like if the thing gets bad, let it just get bad for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's where Mr. Esau is. But you know, the other thing is as well is to be able to calculate the whole thing. You know, it's either he can be a state witness, they give him a shorter sentence. But also the other thing is that since there are big cats that have been involved in the whole thing, the possibility of death is very high.
It's very high.
Because anything can happen. Because also the other thing is that even if you're a state witness, there's still a big chance that you're going to be there's still a big chance that you're going to be sentenced. And once you get a sentence, just lesser. But now the other issue is as well, if he starts exposing, he begins to become a threat to the rest of the co-accused. So now they see him, and that's why now they need to separate them and all type of stuff, because anything can happen. I saw there's this incident in SA of a lady that got killed, I think it was on Monday or something. She works in Ministry of Home Affairs. She was passing through, it's in Durban, it's also a busy area. So the traffic was a little bit slow, so a guy just pulled out, the guy just came from nowhere, fired I think 13 bullets. 6 of them strike there. And now they asked somebody that knows the person, they said, no, it is because she's a key witness in an ongoing case against somebody. So now, so now the whole thing is that once we kill you, it's much more easier and better for us to win our case, because then now the key witness is not trying to say. So, and you begin to realize, even in our country, that's where the level of violence is going to be pushed to that corner, because now you realize that once you take out the key witness, then there's no longer evidence. Who gives the evidence then to say what happened and stuff like that? Same applies with him. If you start being in a place to say, no, Asaki used my name, all those type of stuff, then you start realizing that this guy, they'll start getting threatened, and they'll want to kill the guy.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is we were having the same-sex marriage ruling is... The same-sex marriage ruling is now becoming a problem for our government as well.
1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay, maybe I can just hold it like this for now. Yeah.
The same-sex ruling is now becoming a problem for our government, because I think people, they don't really think it through.
Yeah.
Because now the Supreme Court, as we all know, it's the overhead of all of the courts.
Yeah.
So whatever that decides, that decision needs to be taken by, now people do not know how to sort of like navigate it now.
Yeah.
The lower courts do not know how to navigate the whole situation. But the guy, Pandeka, was telling the public that we need to be very cautious about how we approach the matter. And you are allowed to air your opinions, but you need to air your opinions in a respectful manner. I'm like, respectful for what? For who? For whose decision? I mean, it's not like we're gonna loot and throw things at these people. You already decided for us what to do. So one of the things that go inside with that is because tomorrow, which is Friday, the 2nd of June, the Methodist Church actually does have a protest. And one of the police guys was telling the public that they need to be very cautious about it. And he was giving like rules and regulations about how the protest was going to go, because they do not also want people to write like violent and vulgar language upon like the things that they are protesting.
Why must the guy worry, man? I mean, you're just dealing with church people. You know what I'm saying? So the Methodist is a church institution. So if it's a church institution, then there's nothing like cursing or insulting and stuff like that. So I don't think that has to be.
But now I think also it's because not only is it a church thing, the people of the church are actually inviting the public,
as well.
So now you see that they are saying that the protest is actually coming from the protest is coming from WhatsApp groups that were created after these things, and now apparently people are what is the word that I'm looking for? Outrage, and people are angry, and people are upset.
No, I think it's fine for now.
And people are all of these things, and now people are thinking maybe we will physically, or the other people that are going to be joining the protest are going to physically attack these people.
But the other thing as well, so there are legal matters that were not followed within the whole judgment and the whole process. So the courts were just supposed to apply the law. They are not lawmakers. You know what I'm trying to say? So all they're supposed to do was apply the law. Then they send the thing to Parliament. Then Parliament do their democracy type of a thing. The ones that are for, the ones that are against. Then whatever get to be amended there gets to go into the Constitution. You know what I'm trying to say? But then now they've jumped all the other laws and processes, and they just made the final judgment. You know what I'm trying to say? But I think to the way that it goes, because it's that it begins to become one of these challenging things, because then now you find, you find like everybody has their own saying. Some people is like, no, from a historical fact, we are Africans and all that stuff. So me, what I feel like with most people, it is just something. The thing of morality is that it doesn't sit well with them, but it's not as though they have a problem with other moral issues.
Yeah.
That's what the whole issue is. That's what the whole issue is. But it's quite okay. They can push it through. But I don't also feel like at the stage where we are now, those people, they're also not gonna back down to say they're gonna give up and stuff. They will possibly find another avenues to fight, to fight back and to be able to stand and stuff. I know there's this petition that is going through around. I think they need like 100,000 signatures and stuff like that. So maybe once that is attained, then they can take it to the court and stuff like that. But what many people feel like at this stage, our constitution, the laws, the Supreme Court overstepped those. They put them aside and they made their own judgment. So, but it's crazy. So, but we'll see how it goes. So when the Linus was the guy, the president of the gay, he's so excited and very much happy and stuff like that.
Is he Ojiwambo?
Yeah, the guy is a Gambo guy.
Yeah, I think because he was talking in
Ojiwambo.
I think he was telling everybody like, yeah, we will do what we want.
Yeah, so the guy is saying, yeah, you churches and what that told us, you politicians that told us, and now you can get married and all type of stuff and so forth and so on. But that's what is going on there. But I think like it is either it is gonna catch on momentum, or either if there are complications, it might die out alongside the road. So but that's really what it is.
On other news, Namibia has one of the highest suicide rates in Africa. We are part of a statistic, but one of the worst statistics. We are doing something, but something bad.
Yeah.
I think it's also in line with the other statistic of the rape charges, the rape cases that were reported in the north as well. Now we see a lot of, I don't want to say it like that, but men have been at the forefront of suicide rates, and it's becoming to a point where we are now worried. We are very concerned because imagine Namibia is the fourth highest. I think it's about 23-24% of the suicide rates that become
within Africa.
Yeah, within Africa. So now you check, like, one of the crazy things when I was looking through the statistics is like countries like Lesotho. These are countries that have a lot of people, and we are the country with the lowest population, yet we are the fourth highest when it comes to suicide rates.
It's crazy. But what are the possible causes? They didn't put the cause.
They did. They were saying that with the pandemic, because of job losses and the grieving and all of these things. I think grieving was the number one thing, and then there was like hopelessness, loss of jobs because a lot of people were infected and all of these things.
To me, I want to be alive. Everything else that comes with being alive. No, there's hope in being alive, man. If anything can change. Now you kill yourself because you're jobless, there's no work, there's no money, family issues or type of stuff. Then you don't solve anything. Now you're just creating another problem on top of
for other people as well.
So, but the thing is that I think the dynamics of the way a man is wired, number one, I think one of the greatest things is that it's the same thing when it comes to this GBV type of stuff. A woman is deemed okay when a woman is under abuse and stuff like that to open up cases. You know what I'm trying to say? But the men, by nature, to report a woman to the police or it makes it very much difficult. So now these guys, they're taking all this type of stuff. They have no one to speak. And I'm talking about certain issues. I just if a lady reports you for maintenance, you don't have a job, and they keep on calling you, you're just a loser. Look at other men, look at how they are standing for their kids. Those things they go into your head.
And then they sing.
And now it's like, that's why I say they begin to turn to alcohol, they turn into drugs, it begins to become depression, and when they cannot take it anymore, then they blow up. That's what I say. So I think the only thing is that I think it's a personal thing for every man to be able to realize that, I shouldn't allow my nature, my ego, and my pride to destroy me. That if I need help, I must be able to seek out for help. And I think entirely as a nation, both women and men, it shouldn't be a stigma when a man is at his lowest. You know what I'm trying to say? Because if a guy was, there was a time I was thinking, maybe one day we just need to make a prank. You go to the police and he says, I want to report my wife has beat me. Then you're just hitting someone. Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say? Then you want to see the reaction of those police officers to say, will they be laughing? Will they not be taking the whole thing seriously? Because those are the real dynamics that affect a man. Because if this woman is calling me all type of words, if my family think that I'm a loser, I'm not going to become anything, then who do I speak to then? And if I have to open up to speak to somebody, does that person has the credibility to keep the story that I'm busy telling them? So now they look for possible solution, it's not there, then they just go to the solution they think is better. Let me just take myself out. But message to all the men, poverty, unemployment, with everything else, to be alive, there's more hope than anything else. Because once you go to the grave, that's it. I'm trying to say. So you might be homeless, you might not be having a job, you might not be, because I think every man, every good man wants to live out this role, whether it's providing, protecting, all type of stuff. So and if they can't be what they are designed to be, that affects them, and they feel like there's no use to be alive if I can't be a man. Come down and say, so now I go to a place whereby let me take just my own life and stuff like that. But it's crazy. So we urge all the men, love your life more than anything else. Come down and say, so if you have some issues, look out to people that are more credible and that they can speak to, and you can be helped.
Yeah, for my final story, we have the Hartbeck Clares region excluding Kietmanzo. We need to clarify that excluding Kietmanzo. Their own number were over $500 million. Constituencies like Bishop. So now we were talking about the load shedding the other time. So now people will be given, let's say, electricity for like 4 hours in a day, and then we switch it off because you owe us money.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to me because it's like I was reading the whole thing there and I was going through this thing like the last time we were talking about it. All of a sudden now these two regions owe number 500 million, and this 500 million for some reason is sort of like the money that is being owed to the World Bank. Because I saw Gego was talking about owing the World Bank $500 million, and I'm like, so we want these people to pay the 500 million so we can pay the 500 million back, or what exactly are we doing? And where exactly are these people going to? When exactly are they going to pay this money back? Because when we're looking at the campaign strategies that people are now using, it's like people want to start from a clean slate. Let's say, for example, they want to cut all of these things. Yeah. So everybody who owes water, there is I think 10,000 something. Now they want to write off these debts. Yeah. So how exactly are we going to pay this money back when we are writing off debts? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, but you begin to realize that debts, especially the only thing is that at the stage where we are now, as a nation, as a continent, and as a world at large, the economy is affected. So, and once that is affected, it's very much easy because now you need to realize that now people are pressed, they can't pay bills, and when they can't pay bills, the people that are the service provider, like the Nampower, they also can't pay to maintain the business going on. So then now, if you press to say, okay guys, if you guys are not paying, we are cutting, then it's darkness. And also the people they're also genuine to say, we honestly do not have money. So the only way, write the whole thing off, or if we have to pay you, let's pay as we can. But then now the other person thinks like 500 million is a lot of money and we need it for other stuff. So
the thing, I was like, how can they accumulate so much debt? And then I was like, I am doing, and I saw like it's generational thing. So my grandmother who is dead.
That's what frustrates people to say, how do I pay for debts that are not mine? It's for someone else.
Because my grandmother died like 5 years ago, and now even within our family, we have a house here in Gilman's It's in Seplachta with these old houses. So when my grandparents died, the thing was like they write off the debts when the person is dead. They never did that. The people have been going to the municipality with this issue for a while now. And now the thing is like when this came out, people were like, what are we gonna do? And it's like the government has to write it off because they are dead. But then at the end of the day, what about the ones that were accumulated after they have died? So now it's that fight, that back and forth.
It's a back and forth thing. But it's a struggle because also the other thing is that if you have to look at NamPower, I think many people see NamPower as a private owned company, but it's half private and it's half government. So if you push to cut, then the people who are cutting, it's also the people that were voted into power. so how do you cut? You know what I'm saying? So they have to find. That's why I like what Malema said the other time. He says there is no use of keeping a record of someone owing 100,000. You will never find that money anymore from that person. Just write the whole thing off because you just have 100,000 on paper. The person won't pay. You know they don't have the money. So I think they just because to me I feel like since it is government and people have like this what is this they have this thing of new financial year. It is just better to say just cut for that financial year and not cut but erase the whole debt. And once they erase them, then we just start over because it is government giving to the parastatal and the people paying to the parastate that is the government. So it is still just the same thing. So rather say let's not just act like we are private. Let's just tell the people it is still half private, half government. It's still us, the government, that want money. But you begin to realize that the president, they're not going to comment any issue in the NamPower type of thing. They look like it's a private thing. But at the end of the day, it is government that is trying to remove services from its own people. You know what I'm saying? So it is just either you go into another financial year and you say, okay guys, we are writing off the 500 million. Then let's start fresh. They just need to do it like the thing they do for the people that got sentenced for many years. If the new president come, then they release those guys.
I saw the other time in the States, the guy that has been in prison for like I think over 25 years. And then Trump came and everybody was like, we are jumping on this bandwagon to sort of like get out of this thing. They did not, but they weren't.
No, it's crazy. But because the thing is that, the unemployment already, you find some people, they stay in the house, and none of those people in the house will work. You know what I'm saying? Now, especially if they can do that, because people who have problems with electricity is those ones who have conventional meters. So if they can also make the water prepaid, that's gonna be better because now, if you don't buy water or buy electricity, then you are without. So that makes it easier. Because now I need the water, but I don't have the money. But when it comes to electricity, is that if you don't have money to buy electricity, then you don't have electricity, then it makes it easier for people not to fall in debt. So let them just say, okay guys, for the next financial year, we'll give people prepaid meters for water as well, then it makes it easier. Then force out, because I guarantee you that most people that are owing NamPower rather, it is people, it is government and private institutions. You know what I'm saying? Almost 80% of our nation, it is people that have prepaid. So then now, if you cut, you affect those people. I think let me get another mic. If you cut, then you this thing is like witch stuff. Okay, let me get that one. Yes. So that's what's busy happening. So, but it's a matter of seeing and getting to realize. 1, 2.
Take it off.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay. 1, 2. Very good. Okay, let's go along. Okay, so that's what is there. So we're moving on to the other stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other story that is there is on witchcraft. I think it has been very much adamant in our nation.
Prevalent.
It is. I think maybe I let me not say that because there's power in words and stuff like that. So, but you find like these other countries like Nigeria and Ghana, like practicing witchcraft, sort of like it's legal. You can do your thing on the street and you can buy your muti. Somebody was telling me there in Katima what they do is that if you owe somebody, like this specific person that I was told about was owed money and they didn't want to pay. No, the person they wanted to go cut their water. Then he threatened the municipality people, say, if you guys cut, you will see. And the person ordered a cloud of rain from Zambia. They ordered it came, and it was danger. That's why that says witchcraft, what, they just
These are serious
stuff.
People,
they say it was chaotic, man, that day, that it really came. You can really see how it's coming, and it goes, so it begins to become a problem.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so that's what's busy happening. But down in the north, it's a story of, I think maybe most of the people, they might have seen the story, is of a witch doctor that is busy demanding money, busy demanding like 600 and all type of stuff. Then after some time, this ghost came back and is demanding another $200. So it's a very funny story because sometimes I had this story of a guy in the family. So this guy he liked meat, but the family could not really afford to be eating a big chunk of meat. So what the guy would do is that, when the mother and the kid go collect firewood and stuff like that, so the guy's gonna be on the tree and he's gonna be speaking. Don't look up. If you look up, you're gonna be dead. So I'm giving you instruction. If you want to live, you must give your husband how many pieces. Then he mentioned like maybe give him 6 pieces and other stuff. So now when the woman can cook, because of the fear of witchcraft, it just gives the man that thing. Until later on, the woman discovered, it's just a guy. And I feel also the same story, man, begins to become the same thing. And the other story that is linked to this story, it is the story of the Titi, the bowl, where people's name were written in that thing and all that stuff. So now, one of the guy that shot himself that was in the Titi type of a thing. So this guy, he has to go back to work, and now the whole people there, the workplace, they are very much afraid. It was like, but I feel like, man, those type of stuff is like the thing of those people whose pictures were the witch doctor. It's like you don't really know.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. You own people, they just go write your name in that thing and all type of stuff. So it's crazy, but. And so now they are very much, and now they even mention names and all that of stuff, who's there, who did what, and all that of stuff. Then now I feel like, if this thing begins to become something of public and a person is a vendetta, so witchcraft, it still goes, whether they're social workers or what, the guy will still do his thing. But to a certain extent, it's just that people, not to say that witchcraft is not real, but the power that people gives it is what gives it the power for it to manifest all type of stuff that is busy happening. That's why we say we are a Christian nation, so we need to deal with witchcraft in a Christian way. But that's what's busy happening down there in the north and stuff like that. So the other issue is the Trans-Namib issue. So Trans-Namib now is most likely to become like a Namibia. We spoke about it at that time, but now it's sort of like this they call it Institute of Public Relations stuff like that. So they do investigation within public institutions. Now they say the same trend with Namibia, they are seeing it with Trans-Namib. So. And the problem is that the problem they had with Namibia is that politicians were interfering within the money issues of these places. And that's also the same thing now with Trans-Namib and stuff like that. So later on, before you know, people, and the problem is that they don't say that things are bad. They just announce it's liquidated. It's like, how do you do that? At least tell us how bad it is so we can know. But I tell you now, man, our country is in an economical mess. So our leaders might pretend like everything is okay. You remember when they had the independence celebration and the president said there's no food, let the VIPs. surrender their food to everybody else. That tells you that. But I think, where else do you want to have enough food than an independence celebration?
Yeah.
And if there can't be enough food at an independence celebration where their ego and the pride, every minister, all the people that are in the cabinet are there, if they can't protect their pride and their image there, that tells you our economy is bad. You know, and later on, before you know, we have no airline, and we also don't have. And you begin to realize that
we already have not had any transport with the train for such a long time.
Okay.
I think it's almost 2.5 years now. If I'm not mistaken, I still have the correction.
Yeah.
And now, every day there are workplaces in Africa. We live close by train.
Yeah.
I see these people fixing this train, but nothing is happening. It's like they're fixed. I'm like, at this point, I don't see the one that they were fixing anymore. I just see the one that like fell the other time, the accident one. And I'm like, what are we doing, guys? Should we just pick up the railways and
So I think maybe
sell
for
them?
now, all they do is that the cargo, so that's the only thing they are transporting, the manganese and all that of stuff. So, but for people-wise, nothing, you know. And now the thing is that not only do you not have transportation, it's also that the things are old, and you can't maintain them, and the brakes are busy failing, all type of stuff be failing. So it is like at a stage whereby to maintain it is already expensive, and to keep it going, there's no money. You know, so it's sort of like, and that's when now they say, okay, we've exhausted every avenue, so let's just close the whole thing down. You know, so that now, if you get a private sector to run the airlines and to run the Namibia, then the prices goes up because they are profit driven. You know, so and it begins to become, and it's for me it's amazing that things are supposed to be benefiting ordinary people. People who already have money are closing the whole thing down, and it's crazy. But that's what's happening in Namibia. So you want to investigate those ones that are in Namibia now. Maybe Fata Klajo Paki, you know, take your pension money already, so that before they say we are cutting, you know, we are only giving you 70%.
I think even with
70%.
what is the thing in Namibia, close to 700 people lost their jobs.
Yeah.
It's like, look at the families, and now we are just putting a lot of people in unemployment, loss of money.
It was crazy because one of the guy, I think the guy was what? The guy was, he appeared at he appeared at one of the channels. Been watching his story. The guy he was an attendant in a flight attendant, and this guy became homeless, and sort of like Namibia got liquidated almost at the start, at the rooming of COVID, and things got bad. The guy sold his house, sold type of stuff, money finished. The guy found himself in the street, and that's why I'm so busy waiting now. That's why if you are waiting for Namibia, start getting a financial advisor. You know, start thinking and making your calculation properly. Maybe get your pension before the whole thing collapses. Maybe you can get the whole entire money, but rather than that, things looks very, very bad. Okay, the other story, it is the and I think when is it the petrol and stuff is also going up. So if it goes up, then the food also also gets to
the cooking oil. Out of everything, it's always the cooking oil that kills us in Namibia. It's too expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. So the other issue that's also very much sad story is the story in the north, the Kavango, I think east. Yeah, so the people that for the food poisoning and stuff like that, and I think the death toll is what 13 now, 16. So it's very bad. So imagine like having 16 people from one family die almost in the same period. It's very much devastating. And what's good enough, the First Lady said she's willing to render help for the affected family. You know,
it's a lot of people.
Yeah, so but this is what they have money, but it's like.
No, I mean for the loss.
The loss, 13 is a lot. But then the thing is that why must you announce? Why must you announce in public that you're gonna be catering for the people?
You can just literally
go and do what you need to be doing. But you know what? It is picking up scores and show people what you have done and stuff like that. Okay, so the other story is our own athlete Christine Boma in the entertainment and the sports sector, is that she's starting her own clothing line. You know, so I think Boma is there. She's taking the dog's words very seriously. I'm the business and the brand. Everybody, please call my name. You know, so she's trying to make money out of her own image and her name. And I think there are some people who feel like, hey, let me buy Christine's T-shirt or jacket or what because hey, Christine, maybe that spirit of running faster, is also gonna be.
What do you mean? Leggings.
And I think she has become a celebrity in a very short amount of time.
Yeah.
And, so we wish her very well. Yeah, so she needs to invest in the podcast. We'll tell her that at least inject money, then we can start advertising for you as well. But the other quick issues, international or out in Africa, what is happening? I don't know if you saw that story. They've spent in the last 2 years. They've spent in Ministry of Works. They've spent $93 million. In the houses of the ministers and deputy ministers.
Yeah, I saw it.
So it's very imagine and you have to look at the unemployment rate, the poverty and all type of stuff. Then you spend 93 million on people who can afford to rent their own house, and then that tells that people can care less about poverty.
Imagine you are struggling in your country with electricity and all of these things, and people are literally spending so much money.
Why would you want to live a fancy life if you are working for the people? 93 million is a lot of people. But what's very much worse about it is that they've spent in 2 months they spent for 2 ministers 400,000 on pets,
on dogs and cats.
Like 400,000.
It's
I mean, somebody barely goes into the same station. You buy like $10 electricity. I saw the thing for David Thomas. There's a thing. There's a big note. No electricity for $10.
I saw that.
So you need to go somewhere else where they can accept it. And you find people spend 400,000
on a dog. And people now have medical aids and things for dogs and stuff. I'm very
and when they get to talk, they have a diplomat talk. Actually, we have budgeted 400 million for poverty eradication. And they go on and on. And now they are spending that money on this. Spending all that money. 93 million is a lot of money, man. I mean, you can build hospitals, you can sort out the roads. You can, build houses. You can do so many things.
These people don't like us, to be honest.
I mean, we're just voting the wrong people into stuff. So the other issue is about Putin.
Vladimir Putin.
So I think the briefcase went on in August.
Yeah.
And the SG for ANC got invited. The guy said, if it was us, we'll even want Putin to come tomorrow.
It's always the confidence of SG.
That's Vicky Barula. The guy is saying, no, if you want, people they think like arresting a head of state is like arresting anybody. You can just arrest them. You can't just arrest the head of state.
You just can't.
And the guy is it's just so funny. The guy is saying, yeah, you people that are talking about Putin today, what did you do in Iraq? What did you do in Afghanistan?
Especially the US.
Yeah,
like
you arrest Obama and all
that
type of stuff and things like that. So now stop putting pressure on us about Putin and stuff like that. So it's crazy. But now the other news is that the DA, the Democratic Alliance, they are going to court to have Putin arrested in SA when the guy comes.
And
I was watching that thing for that guy. Every time I want to laugh, I go and Google the guy. The guy says, South Africa is like a movie. It's like a drama. It's like series. We forget what shocked us 2 weeks ago. and next month come we forget what shocks us now. So it's a movie.
And that's right.
Yeah, but it's just way too crazy, man, how they deal with type of stuff. So South Africa is like, whether it's from robbery, whether it's from politicians, whether it is from all type of stuff, it's like when you hear certain things coming out of SA, you no longer just believe anything.
It doesn't shock us anymore.
It doesn't shock you anymore. It's like, if it's South Africa, I'll believe, It's like the corruption coming out of Nigeria and all type of stuff. They sort of like, it's just a movie. And the other thing as well, so maybe to bring it to a close, is about the case of the saga for Thabo Bester. So it is the place whereby it's just too bad. And now what is happening is that she applied for an agent an agent application in the court today. The proceeding was today. So now she's saying she got abducted wrongfully in Tanzania. They blindfolded her, and it was the South African police that arrested her instead of the immigration officer. So then now, when that was tabled into the court, the whole Ministry of Home Affairs said, we also want to be part of this court case, and they applied to be invited inside. So they got invited, and now they are saying Dr. Nandipa is a liar. I mean, they just sort of like, they're not even afraid to say they are going to sue us for defamation of character. The minister, the host is saying she's lying, and stuff like that. So the proceeding has been there in the court today. And what's also amazing enough, what is her name? Come on, one of the only lady beside Nandipa that was also part of the court proceeding. What is the name, man? Come on. So she got a bail of 10,000. Then she had, I think, a couple of hours. She got an interview with NCA. They were talking about how she takes a job very seriously and so forth and so on. But the language, I think she's very much heavy. But I feel like to her she's very much innocent. It's just that she got herself at the wrong place, the wrong time. So that's what's busy happening. So the stories, that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you very much for tuning in. We want to encourage you, please engage with us into the comment section. So what do you think about all these type of stories? Give us references, things that you want us to cover and expand on. But we are going to do our best to bring you weekly news, to review, dive into stories like this, make it very much exciting. But for us to do that, we have one request from you, and that is please do subscribe. Hit on the notification bell and share and like so that this news review can hit other people. But thank you very much. I think we are out.